Sweet Tea, are you ready for a brand new episode of the Court Case Podcast?
I am. Are you guys?
Yes, we're going to be talking about Clarkson's farm. There's stray dogs that have become mutated and other weird wildlife stories. We're going to be giving our verdict on all of them right after this.
Hello, I'm Matt Berry, and this is not Absolute Radio. This is the Court Case Podcast.
Welcome back to the Court Case Podcast. Sweet Tea, how are you doing?
I am good. How are you?
Pretty good. It's been a minute. It's been a minute since we've actually recorded because the last episode that came out, the Thomas Duncan Bell one, re-recorded back in 2022.
Yeah, it's been... We haven't recorded since last year.
No, because we recorded the Charles Manson episode this year.
Really? When did we do that?
We did that like maybe 3-4 weeks ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, we hope you found both of those very interesting. The Ukraine one in particular, because it's still happening right now. It's still very important that that message gets out there. I know that Sandra listened and she was really happy that we are still doing some sort of Ukraine episode every now and then.
Yeah.
So, which is really nice. She messaged me, so she's doing okay, anyone that's wondering. Thomas Duncan Bell, the man that we interviewed, he was not happy with the episode. He did not like the audio quality, but...
Which was fun.
All of the audio problems were on his end. Our audio sounded fine. And, you know, I did the bet as good as I could do. I did my best.
Hopefully it didn't put anyone else off.
Yeah, the message is more important
than the quality.
That's
what we were told in when we went to the podcast show in last year.
Yeah.
They said quantity is better over quality, didn't they?
When it comes to podcasting, yeah, as long as you're getting them out there, yeah. People can look past the quality as long as it's good content.
As long as you can actually hear it, obviously, and you can.
And hopefully our audience think the same as all other podcast listeners in that regard.
Yeah, I hope so.
But it actually got me down a little bit because I was in a down slump at work at the time I got that email, and I was just like, oh, Christ. Yeah. I don't want to say too much, but I'm at the time in my life where my podcasting needs to be at top notch, and to get that email just made me feel like I was a bit poo.
Yeah, it knocks you off the podium a little bit, doesn't it?
It did, yeah, it did. But I'm feeling good now. I'm feeling happy, and Chewy's doing great, our little dog.
Oh, bless his little cotton socks.
And speaking of Chewy, who is an animal...
He is a dog.
Yeah, he's a dog. We've got a jam-packed wildlife and animal-related episode today because not only have we've had Chewy for a couple of months now, a smash hit show came out a couple of weeks ago, Clarkson's Farm, which is obviously very animal and agriculture-based. Mm-hmm. It's Amazon's most watched show. It's all over the news and stuff, and we just really enjoyed it.
Do you know what? Incredible. I had an unpopular opinion, but honestly, me and James have watched a lot of TV shows and stuff in our 3-ish years together. And I said to him the other day, I said, that has got to be, other than Ted Lasso, one of my favourite series I've watched, purely because it's so real, raw, unscripted. It was educational, emotional. Like, it was just so cool to watch.
What I think's really good about Clarkson's Farm is that obviously, most documentaries, obviously, they throw information at you in quite a normal way, but you get informed with Clarkson's Farm, you almost get informed unintentionally.
Yeah, literally.
Because you're following the show for the sort of emotional side of it and the interesting side of it, and then through the emotional turmoil that these farmers and Jeremy Clarkson himself is going through, you're learning so much about the farming industry, and I think that's...
And I don't think, to be fair, I don't think they realised that it was educational either. Like, that was obviously never one of their intentions, because they said after the first season, like, how loads of farmers actually really liked it because they're learning and they're realising that other people are realising how hard their job is, because I didn't really know how hard a farmer's job was until I saw that, and it's really interesting. Yeah,
and I think obviously it's Amazon's most popular show, and after all of the Jeremy Clarkson, Meghan Markle controversy shit, everyone was wondering whether they're going to get another season or not. Well, they are filming a third season right now as we speak, and I always thought they were going to do another season because not only is it their most popular show, it costs Amazon pence to make. All they've got to do is, because all of the farming, Jeremy is paying for himself. All they need to do is get a camera crew down there to film it. That's it.
Yeah.
No special effect. No,
they've just got to pay the camera crew and obviously for the equipment and stuff.
And obviously the odd special, the title sequences and stuff like that. So,
but in terms of other documentaries, it's probably quite a cheap one. Yeah.
Yes, and so they're earning so much more than it's costing them to make. So of course they're going to do another season. And I hate this debate over Jeremy's stupid jokes and stuff like this. He's been like this for years, and it was a stupid Game of Thrones joke that he made. The people that don't watch Game of Thrones didn't get, and so they thought it was disgustingly offensive.
Wait, what was it?
Basically, you haven't gotten to the bit in Game of Thrones where it happens, but it's not too much of a spoiler. There's a point in one of the seasons of Game of Thrones where one of the characters, they get put on trial for a crime or crimes that they did, and what they get sentenced to, and it's a female character, is they have to walk naked through the street, and citizens throw things like tomato and poo and stuff at them, and it's called the Walk of Shame.
Right.
And Jeremy, in one of his columns, says that Meghan should do a walk of shame, right, as a joke. And it was a clear Game of Thrones reference. Anyone that watch it would be like, that's what he's saying. And he makes jokes like that all the time, but it got bombasted. He was called sexist, misogynistic, everything like that. But what I want to say is that people are layered, people are nuanced. Some people do bad things and good things at the same time. And I think what Jeremy's doing for the farming community far, far outweighs the little maybe bad joke that he made.
Yeah.
And I think people should be judged on themselves as a whole than the one odd stupid comment that they might make.
Yeah, and to be fair, you actually see him in this series that he does care. He is a nice person. He does good things. He wouldn't be doing half of this farming stuff. He's not doing it for a laugh at however old he is. I think he's in his 60s. Yeah. He wouldn't be doing it for a laugh. He's doing it because he actually wants to learn. It's quite admirable, isn't it? Because when most people are 60, they're not going to want to go out and learn how to be a farmer, are they? Yeah, no, exactly. And the thing that broke my heart, and which really showed me how the good that Jeremy was doing, is when he's trying to open his restaurant and he went round to all of the farms in the area and he was saying, would you like to provide food or other things to our restaurant? And all of these farmers, not only did they say yes, they were desperate, and they were saying this would actually help keep our farm running if we did join in. Oh yeah, and not only that, he also held a meeting with literally everyone who was against him having the farm, just to let them air their views. And that's respect, you know what I mean, ballsy. To sit there and take on all this shit negative comments from people, that is ballsy.
So there's been a local news article recently, 4th of March, about Clarkson's farm. So of course, if you've not watched the show, he owns a farm and he's running a farm and he wants to open a restaurant on his farmland. He's already got a farm shop open, and the local council have been giving him bollocks for that as well, but they denied his planning application for this restaurant, and this was where all the farmers in the area were going to showcase their food, and it was really going to help the local farmers. And the council shot him down, and in the end they managed to bypass the council's decision by building it in a different building somewhere. They found loopholes to open it.
It's brilliant, because his council friend, I guess, Charlie,
love Charlie,
absolutely brilliant. He's so clever. He's really sportive. He's really changed from the first series as well. Come a long way.
He has, yeah. He was my favourite character in the show. I love him. But an outgoing councillor has said that the West Oxfordshire District Council's rejection of Jeremy Clarkson's planning applications were motivated by jealousy.
Yeah, that was clear.
I think. Yeah, that was very, very clear. Mr. Ridruff said the council's cabinet was too busy virtue signalling, and as a consequence had allowed the 5-year land supply to slip. On top of accusing the council of unbelievable wokery, Mr. Ridruff said the council had a personal vendetta against Mr. Clarkson's diddly squat farm. He said with Clarkson's farm, they decided he couldn't have his car park because they just don't want him to have it. It is pathetic. It is jealousy, and they have a vendetta against Clarkson, in my opinion. That was the one that was stupid. True. They were to make a car park to help the roads because they were getting complaints from the council that they were clogging up the roads, and they denied them that.
Yeah, and then they go and put cones around his farm, which is then blocking the bus from stopping out there, which is obviously nothing to do with Jeremy.
The guy said, I don't think the council have come out looking very good at all over this. Yeah, that council in particular were trending on Twitter after Clarkson's farm aired because everyone was just complaining about them.
Yeah, they're awful.
Were you looking for Chewy there?
No, I wasn't looking for Chewy. I'm looking for my phone, which I've just found.
So, has anything, since it's come out, has any of his decisions been done? Apparently, Jeremy is appealing their decisions, and the planning inspector will conduct the hearing. Oh, so they've got another hearing on March 14th.
Oh, lovely.
Do you reckon that'll be filmed?
I hope so, but if not, then I'm sure they'll give some sort of what's it called when debrief?
Yeah, a spokesman for the council has said that we do not have a vendetta against Mr. Clarkson, and we have worked with him and his planning agents over the past 2 years to try and reach a positive outcome where the business can operate within the plan laws and policies. Bullshit.
So dumb.
Over recent years, Diddley Squat Farm, Mr. Clarkson personally have had many planning applications approved where they were in line with national and local planning policy, and we treat each individual planning application fairly and legally, regardless who submits it. Absolute bollocks. No, they don't. I completely disagree.
No, yeah, they don't at all.
Yeah, but that's the most up-to-date stuff on Clarkson's Farm. I've also read his first book. He's released 2 Clarkson's Farms book. I've read the first one cover to cover. Very, very good.
Thingamajig's released one as well, hasn't he?
Caleb.
That's the one, Caleb.
His farming mate. Yeah, he has. And I think he's got a second one.
Oh,
The World
Caleb's
According to
great
Caleb.
At his job.
He's really good.
He's a really good farmer, bless him.
And it's...
I was saying this to James. I'm saying this now because if this TV show comes out, I want copyright. But I think they should do a spin-off version where Jeremy takes Caleb to everything that he hasn't done. Like he's never been on a train.
Yeah.
He's never left the country, been on a plane. Like all of these, like he got him on a helicopter at the end of the episode, didn't he? And his reaction was brilliant. But I want to see him do things that he's never done before because he literally lived on a farm his whole life, which is mental to me.
I thought of one the other day that I think would be funny. Is if Carl Pilkington took Caleb to the places that he's been on Idiot Abroad and showed him them.
Oh my God.
I think that would be so funny.
Idiot Abroad plus a farmer or something, something clever.
Like yeah.
No, I like that.
That'd be so funny. We put a post on social media recently to ask for some stories, and we got sent an animal-related story from Bad Counsel, the Bad Counsel podcast.
Oh, shout out to them.
Lovely bunch of guys. I love them. Alligator kills...
and girl. Don't forget.
Oh, yeah, and girl. Well, guys can sometimes refer to...
True. You never know nowadays. It's, you know...
You just don't know, do you?
You never know.
Alligator kills 85-year-old woman in Florida.
Ooh. Fuck alligators.
We've got a lot of alligators. Our friend Sam Pierce, who does the jingles.
Well, we've got alligators here.
No, not here. We don't have alligators. Maybe at a zoo. In Florida, you get a lot of alligators.
Oh, right, yeah.
Our friend Sam Pierce, who does the jingles, he's in Australia at the moment. He sent me a very interesting video. He got very, very close to a crocodile.
Did he? Oh,
he did,
thank God he didn't show me that.
I know. An 85-year-old woman was killed in an alligator attack as she was walking her dog in Fort Pierce, Florida.
Oh, my God.
Oh, do you reckon the dog died? Local media reported the 10-foot alligator first attacked the woman's dog, but went after her once she tried to save the pet. Alligator attacks, especially resulting in death, are uncommon, according to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. The woman's dog survived the attack.
Oh, no.
So it was just her that died.
The dog's on its own.
Yeah, that's not good, is it?
It's awful.
The victim has been recovered, and a contracted nuisance alligator trapper has captured the alligator involved in the incident. Let's see. The neighbours told local media that the alligator emerged from the water and lunged at the dog.
Jesus.
She tried to get the dog away from the reptile, but somehow fell victim to the gator. She has not been immediately identified.
Oh, God, that's horrible. Oh my God, that's horrible. I wouldn't wish it upon anyone.
Apparently, officials said that alligators are opportunistic feeders and they eat prey readily available to them. If the prey is not easily overpowered, they will often let go and retreat.
Fucking hell.
That
poor woman.
Yeah.
And like her family as well. What a way to go. You're just on a nice little dog walk and then out of fucking nowhere.
I know.
Jesus.
I know. I have been to Florida a couple of times with family, and one time we went on what was it called? You go on these boats that have huge propellers at the back, and they take you through the swamps of Florida. It's really cool, and you go like alligator spotting.
Oh, I wouldn't want to do that.
That's quite fun. Why not?
I'm not a fan of, one, the sea, two, creatures in it.
Well, one, it's not the sea. You're in the swamp.
Water, okay. I'm not a fan of water.
Okay. You don't get out.
I know you don't get out, but this woman wasn't in the sea and she got attacked by a crocodile. You're in the sea and you're like, oh, it's fine. No, I'm not going.
Fair enough. All right, fair enough. Okay, well, I would go again. I want to go to Florida.
On your own?
That's the thing. I want to go to Florida with you. And then after we've gone and visited Bad Council, I would have liked to have gone into the swamps and seen some...
No, thank you.
Guess I'm going on my own.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, we've got more stories, including these mutated dogs, and I'm going to lay down some truth bombs about the PETA organisation right after this. Okay, so we're back, and T, what is the name of your favourite animal?
Elephants.
Correct, it's an elephant.
I absolutely love elephants.
Yeah, we've got elephant stuff dotted around the apartment right now. She loves a nice little elephant ornament. You also sponsor an elephant with WWF, don't you?
I do.
So you're helping the conservation movement with elephants.
I am.
Well, I've got a story involving an elephant here. Delightful
I hope it's
creature.
a good one.
Oh, yes, it's a really good one. Man who survived hyena attack trampled to death by elephant.
What? That's not a good one. Oh my God, no.
I know.
It killed someone.
It did, yeah.
Oh, did it mean to?
We're going to find out. But imagine you survived a hyena attack and then afterwards you're trampled to death by an elephant. A man has been trampled to death by an elephant only 3 years after surviving an attack from a hyena.
Oh, wait. So it's not even on the same day?
No. But, I mean, this guy has clearly lived a life, hasn't he?
I don't really understand why the hyena attack has got to come into this.
Well, it's describing the fact that he clearly regularly has encounters with dangerous animals.
An elephant is not a dangerous animal.
If you are truthfully saying that, you are a very misguided individual. They are
I know they're quite
the
big
biggest
and
land mammals,
I know.
and they can be lethal.
I don't think it meant to do it, though.
Well, we're going to find out. Muzi Musili Musembi, a 72-year-old father of 6, from Ilikioni village in Kenya's Kimbwezi East constituency, was attacked by the elephant on March 1st as he walked home. This wasn't Musembi's first altercation with wild animals, as he was attacked by a hyena 3 years previously when attempting to save his livestock. He confronted a hyena that had attacked our livestock in 2020. His widow, Josefita Matteo, told local news site Nation the hyena had killed one of his cows, and as he attempted to get rid of the animal, he received a bruise on his hand. I'm not going to lie, that's quite
impressive,
small.
yeah.
Just a bruise? That's
just a little bruise from a hyena, wow.
Yeah, so the elephant attack happened in an area bordering Savo East National Park, which is home to vast herds of dust-red elephants, as well as rhino, buffalo, lions, leopards, hippos, and crocodiles, according to the Kenya Wildlife Service. After being trampled by the elephant, the man's body remained at the scene for most of the next day, Nation reported, with residents draping his corpse with the Kenyan national flag and preventing the police from collecting the body in protest of the lacklustre response by the police service to the multiple cases of animal-human conflict in the area. We are tired of rampant attacks by elephants.
Oh my God.
The government has turned a blind ear to the plights of farmers in this region. Animal-human conflict is when animals are forced to enter populated areas, leading to attacks on the humans or their livestock and subsequent retaliatory killings of the animals by enraged residents. So, it's a regular thing. These
Oh my
elephant
gosh.
altercations.
I didn't know that.
But it's not the elephant's fault. They're being forced into these populated
Right.
areas because people are coming into their habitat, and it's causing altercations like this.
Yeah, so it's like
you know?
their like way of showing that they're not happy.
Exactly.
Basically.
Yeah.
No.
So this conflict has been especially bad in Mozambique's region of Kenya, with wild elephants having destroyed crops, grain stores and plastic water tanks in their search for food, despite efforts to keep them out using electric fences.
Oh.
Yeah. They should also. Someone said that they should construct dams in the parks to prevent animals from sneaking into farmlands. Apparently, between 50 and 120 problem elephants are killed by Kenyan wildlife authorities every year, contributing to the endangered species population decline, according to the WWF, which is the people that you sponsor
Yeah.
elephant with. Over the past century, populations of African elephants have dropped from 5 million to 470,000. That is a massive decline, which is not good. Human-animal conflict is being one of the major drivers for their reducing numbers. So, this poor guy died from rogue elephant attack. Well, oh wow. Residents of the village have called for the police to kill the rogue elephant that trampled Musembe.
My gosh.
But it was only removed after local police fired tear gas and opened fire to disperse the villagers.
Whoa.
Jesus. So basically, the villagers are not happy that the police's response to these animal attacks have been lackluster, right? So when this guy died from the elephant trample, they weren't letting the police remove the body in protest. They're like, no, you're not taking the body. We're protesting your response. So the police, in retaliation to that, decided to fire tear gas and open fire to disperse the villagers. And then they took the body to the mortuary.
Oh my gosh.
So it's pretty shitty all round, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty shitty situation. That's your elephant story today, T. What are your thoughts on that?
That's really sad for like both parties.
Yeah, you think of elephants as sort of gentle giants, but they can be extremely dangerous, obviously.
Yeah, they have the power to be.
Yeah, they're the largest land mammals on Earth.
Yeah.
So, did you know that they're... I was going to cover this story, actually. I forgot that I put it in my notes. We're very, very close to bringing the woolly mammoth back.
Oh, wow.
Set to return in just 4 years.
Damn.
Yeah, this is all thanks to the efforts of scientists who are in the progress of reincarnating the Ice Age beast with a plan to bring it back in as little as 4 years. I don't know if we covered this on the podcast before. I know that I've spoken to you about it, but
I don't think we have.
I've looked it up and I find it so fascinating what they're doing, because not only they're not bringing it back.
Is it like from fossils, like the whole...
Basically, they found a frozen baby woolly mammoth a few years ago. I think a lot of it's coming from that. So they're not doing it in just a Jurassic Parkian reason, just to do it for the fun of it and just to see if we can do it. There's actually... The reason they want to do it is to fight climate change. It will actually fight climate change and global warming.
That's incredible.
If they bring back woolly mammoths, because what they do, basically the way that they bring it back is they're going to get the DNA from sources such as this baby one that they found frozen, and they're going to mix it with the DNA of either African or Asian elephants, whatever, to, and then I believe an elephant will probably have the first embryo in it and will give birth to it. But basically, up in the far north, I think like above Russia, sort of Siberia area.
Yeah.
Over the past few years, this company has bought this vast stretch of ice and snowy land, and they have put in animals that would have been around when the woolly mammoth was around to simulate its habitat. So they've been putting in like certain elk and deer and foxes and things that would have been around already. And then they've been using tanks that are of similar weight to what the woolly mammoth is to simulate how long like a woolly mammoth would walk and where it would go around, to sort of make the habitat look like sort of a woolly mammoth habitat. And what the plan is that they'll put the woolly mammoth in here, And what woolly mammoths do, a lot like elephants do, is because they're so strong, they will push down trees and they will cultivate earth and they will bring out new plants and they will help redistribute plant life and tree life and greenery into this huge expanse in the north of the world that will actually bring about more oxygen. It will help with the cooling of the planet,
mental.
and it's actually going to help us a lot, which I find so fascinating.
That is so cool. I never knew that.
Yeah, so that's the plan, which I find so interesting. And so within our lifetime, less than that, in the next 4 years, we might actually see
a woolly
real woolly mammoths.
Why were they extinct in the first place?
I think just natural stuff. It definitely wasn't like humans killing or something like that. 'Cause it was thousands. I think it was thousands of years ago. The woolly mammoths were around.
Crazy that they found a frozen one.
And
it was years and years and years ago.
I know, it's just mental.
It is mental how it all works.
Very, very interesting.
Wow, it is.
But even more interesting, speaking of animals adapting and new ones coming, I did tease these mutated dogs, which is quite interesting. So, we've discussed it on the podcast before, I believe. We've been doing this for so long now. I forget which topics we've talked about.
All the stories merge into one.
Yeah. So Chernobyl, which we've discussed, the nuclear meltdown in Ukraine that left that whole area just uninhabitable by humans. Well, stray dogs living in Chernobyl may have evolved to thrive in the deadly exclusion zone. So basically, there's 1,000 miles that you basically can't live in. It's radiation filled. And now stray dogs living within the 1,000-mile exclusion zone around the destroyed Chernobyl nuclear plant have mutated beyond regular canines.
That's
and
mental.
Scientists are probing whether it has helped them thrive amid the radiation.
I wonder how they even do that. That's mental.
Hopefully this article says they may have genetically evolved to thrive in the hazardous exclusion zone after the world's worst nuclear disaster, according to a new study. So it was destroyed in April 1986. It's largely been abandoned by humans. 30 people died from the immediate blast trauma and acute radiation syndrome. And 4,000 more died from the fallout. The contamination also devastated wildlife populations, though some survived and continued to breed there. Scientists conducted the study found that the feral dogs, many have descended from pets left there during the evacuation, have formed unusual packs. They live much closer knit than wild dogs or wolves, and blood samples taken show they are genetically different to other canines. So literally different.
Wow.
The animals have been monitored since 2017 as part of the Chernobyl Dog Research Initiative. The team plans to that's a cool picture. Look, can't see it. We'll post it on the social media, but there's a whole abandoned Chernobyl and there's just one stray dog. It looks really cool. But anyway, the team plans to look closer at the new genetic traits to confirm if such mutations have helped the dog survive despite the harsh radiation. That's
mental.
Yeah, it also thought that researching these dogs could bring fresh insights into how to prevent cancer in humans and protect astronauts in space.
What the fuck?
That's cool. Because, of course, cancer is a form of radiation, I believe, isn't it? So,
and obviously, being in spaces. That's, oh my God, that's insane if that's the case.
It's mental if you think.
A dog could have done that.
Science is so fascinating. It's mental to think that studying something that seems completely unrelated could help in these incredible things.
Literally.
Studying radiated dogs in Chernobyl could help cure cancer. That's so cool.
Yeah.
We don't yet know. Someone from the Human Genome Research Institute. We don't yet know what, if any, genetic differences might allow dogs to survive in one versus another environment. I'd love to watch a documentary on this.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if they might do, if obviously the results ends up that they can cure things or whatever, prevent things, there'll probably be a documentary on it.
Yeah,
they might be making it as we speak.
So cool. In the years since closing off Chernobyl, it has allowed certain wildlife to flourish. The area is now a haven for lynx, bison, brown bears, wolves, boar and deer, as well as 60 rare plant species, and it is the third largest nature reserve in mainland Europe.
60 what? 60 what?
It's 60 rare plant species.
Rare plant species, wow.
It's mad to think that just taking humans out of the equation helps wildlife so much.
Yeah.
So it's now the third largest nature reserve in Europe.
That's mental.
That is mental, isn't it? That is wicked. The US has got a threat from Canadian super pigs, which
what are
is
super
interesting.
pigs?
That's a good question. There's been a crossbred pig that's threatening the wildlife in the Northern America.
Oh.
So everything's dying there from a super pig. It's incredibly intelligent and highly elusive, capable of surviving cold climates by tunneling under snow, and it's going to infiltrate the north of America, and it could kill off a bunch of wildlife there.
Wow.
So that's not good. They're struggling with that at the moment. But those are our multiple main stories. I do want to get to a bit of a debate about PETA in a minute. I need to find the name of the woman that I want to talk about.
Oh,
So
gosh.
all of that
We're
is
going to
coming.
name drop.
We are going to name drop. All of that is coming right after this. Shit.
You keep saying
It's
shit.
because I'm on the wrong tab.
I can imagine someone saying no.
Yeah, I know. Probably my mum.
Yep.
Or my brother, because my brother's like, he's too opinionated. Oh my God, you give your opinions all the time.
Oh my
I'm
God.
sorry.
He literally does it worse than you.
Yeah, he can be very opinionated as well.
If you hear this, Billy, you are worse than James. And I know that might sound like a bias attack, but it's true.
I think the reason he thinks that I'm worse is because obviously I'm opinionated, and then I broadcast it to the world on a podcast, which arguably is worse.
It is worse. However, you are opinionated, but you're not stubborn. You will still listen to opposing views. Hence, we had Flat Earth Dave on the podcast, whereas your brother is opinionated and stubborn. He won't ever let someone else, try and convince him otherwise. So
he's not going to be happy with this.
He's not going to be happy with this.
He's going to text and be like, I do not want sweet tea on the podcast again. I do not want to hear
And
this.
then we'll go, I rest my case.
Yes.
That's your opinion.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, getting to this topic, this is one that I'm particularly passionate about. One of my proudest achievements, which I might have told you before, is that I've been blocked on Twitter by PETA's own Twitter account.
Now that is a flex.
It is a flex, and because I called out, I replied to there was once where they were going viral for something like that, and I called out that their disgusting malpractices in the organisation that there's many people that don't know about. Like, for example, my mum and others listen to this podcast. I don't think she will know what I'm going to talk about here, and there's many people that won't. Now, PETA is an organisation. It's PETA. Is it PETA? It's People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, not PETA for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. That won't make any bloody sense with it. And basically, so they are a charity and organisation that strives to, think that animals should be treated, ethically and better. Some of the stuff they say, I completely agree with. The odd thing, like there was one, they went on the news recently. Basically, the Queen's Guard in London.
Yeah.
Their fur hats.
Yeah.
It's made out of bear skin.
Oh.
Every one, and bear fur.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
PETA were like, they shouldn't make them out of bear fur anymore. That is one I completely agree with. They don't need to make it out of bear fur anymore. I don't think they should. I think that's stupid. And there was another one I saw recently where they said that they think that dogs like the British Bulldog and the Pug and stuff like that should be bred out. Another one I agree with because it causes terrible health problems for those dogs.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a friend that has got a lovely pug called Elvis that I love to death. It was his birthday recently. Happy birthday, Elvis. And as a dog, I love him. But I think that in the future, his breed of dog should be bred out because they do come with a litany of health problems. They bloody struggle to breathe, for God's sake. And that is the basic thing a living animal should be able to do. And so there's some things that I agree with Peter on. There's other stuff where they are just absolutely ridiculous. Like there was one, like every bloody now and then they come out with this list of, you should change phrases that involve animals so that they don't call so that they so for example the phrase kill two birds with one stone, they want to change it to, they made like a chart and stuff, if I can find it. PETA animal phrases. They were like, you should change these animal friendly idioms that your students will love. So instead of crying over spilled milk, you would cry over burnt toast.
Oh my God.
Because obviously milk you get from cows, which isn't like very good. On a wild goose chase, they think you should change it to out chasing rainbows. Instead of ants in your pants, you should say pepper in your pants.
Oh my gosh.
Instead of walk on eggshells, you should have walk on broken glass.
No one's going to remember these when they're just saying them.
These are the ones that I've completely remember. So they brought out this poster that said, stop using anti-animal language. Instead of kill two birds with one stone, feed two birds with one scone. I say scone, but...
scone, but I guess that works better for it, doesn't it?
Beat a dead horse, feed a fed horse.
Feed a fed horse.
I get what that does...
No, but if it's fed, why are you feeding it?
Yeah, that's what beat a dead horse means. So the saying still is the same, but they want to change it so it's not like harming an animal. But at the end of the day, you're not actually harming an animal. It's a turn of phrase. It's ridiculous behaviour. Bring home the bacon. Bring home the bagels. Take the bull by the horns. Take the flower by the thorns. Absolutely stupid.
No one, you're in a conversation and people just spit them out because they're used to it. They're not going to go, oh, sorry, 1 second, let me just search up the new one and I'll say that instead. It's just, and it's like an autopilot thing now, isn't it?
Exactly. In the end of the day, it's not harming animals, so it doesn't matter. But I convinced PETA just comes up with the absurd thing so they can get their name on Twitter and they can get their name in the thing. But anyway, I recently so I've been blocked by PETA on Twitter, and I also got in an argument on TikTok with PETA's media manager. Well, I didn't get in an argument, but she didn't like me. PETA's media manager, Jennifer White, she's been on Piers Morgan a few times. She gets in arguments with him, and she's been on Good Morning Britain this morning, wherever it is. But basically, she did this video on TikTok about saving dogs or something like that. And I pointed out to her that PETA kills thousands of dogs and cats in their shelters every year. And she didn't. She asked me where I got this information. I provided the exact receipts, and she didn't like that. She said that it's not true. But she then didn't come at me with proof that it's not true. I provided proof that it's absolutely true, and she didn't come back with any sort of discernible admission that I was lying. But basically, you might say to me right now, James, people for the ethical treatment of animals, why would they be killing dogs and cats every year? And I say to you, I don't know, why do they do that? It's very strange for an organisation that wants to treat animals ethically to actually kill thousands of dogs and cats every year. Now, what they do, basically, I don't know if you know why they kill them. Basically, PETA has shelters throughout America specifically, but also I think maybe in England and other countries, where abandoned animals would... they're going to, how a dog shelter works, where rescue dogs, rescue cats go. And basically, they rehome a tiny, tiny amount of these dogs and cats, and usually they just put them down in these shelters, and they kill thousands of them every year. I've literally there's a website, if you want to search it, the evidence is readily available. Just Google PETA kills animals, and there's a website with all of the evidence, and I've got a graph here. In 2022, they received 2,828 dogs and cats. Only 58 of them were adopted. 2,092 of them were killed.
So now my question for you, which other people will be thinking, how do you know that that's true?
Because by law, every shelter in the US has to submit paperwork showing how many animals they bring in, how many are killed, how euthanized, how many are adopted. Right. And this is just the government data put straight onto the website.
Oh, right.
So this is, and they have to by law. So this is PETA's own data that the shelters have given to the government by law, saying that this is what has happened to our animals.
Jesus.
So it's not very good. And what's worse is I read a news article a couple years ago. There was these people that their dog went missing. PETA had found the dog and put it in their shelter, and it was only a couple of weeks. PETA had already killed the dog before the people could come to the shelter to pick it up. They'd already euthanized it.
Why?
I don't know.
If someone was coming to pick it up?
Yeah, I don't know.
What the fuck?
They didn't keep it in the shelter long enough for people to to find out and get it there.
Oh my God.
It's terrible. So this website, PETA Kills Animals, it debuted in 2005. PETA dubiously claims it does not run a traditional animal shelter and that it puts down animals that are too sick or injured to carry on. There are good reasons to believe this claim is inaccurate. Here we go. In November 2014, PETA employees had allegedly taken a family's chihuahua without cause in broad daylight from the family's home. A surveillance video showed a van branded with the PETA logo pull up in the driveway, followed by a worker seizing the dog and driving off. Wilbur Serrett, the dog's owner, said the PETA employees later returned to his home with a fruit basket and news that the dog had been killed.
Oh.
The county sheriff charged the employees with larceny. PETA refused to comment despite numerous requests.
Jesus.
In 2007, 2 PETA employees were tried for animal cruelty and littering in North Carolina after they were caught in a late-night stakeout dumping the bodies of dead dogs and cats in a dumpster. They've been sued for killing animals before. $9.7 million lawsuit. They use dirty tactics to mask it. It's all here.
Loads, yeah.
They've got this whole newsletter, 8 Things You Didn't Know About PETA. So PETA believes in total animal liberation. So that means complete abolition of meat, milk, cheese, eggs, honey, zoos, aquariums, circuses, wool, leather, fur, silk, hunting, fishing, and pet ownership. So one of the reasons they kill animals is they would rather pets were dead than in a loving home.
What the fuck? Which
is pretty fucked up. I can understand thinking maybe that owning pets is wrong, but if you've got a pet in a loving house... So, Chewy, our dog, who's in a loving home, we love him to bits, we spoil him rotten, and they would rather Chewy was dead than in this environment.
Yeah.
Which I think is very wrong, personally. So that's that. PETA supports criminals, it says here. PETA has given tens of thousands of dollars to convicted arsonists and other violent criminals. This includes a 2001 donation to the North American Earth Liberation Front, which is a domestic terrorist group. PETA lobbies to kill cats. Despite its animal protection rhetoric, PETA's approach to dealing with some animals, particularly stray cats, is often lethal. In cities, towns and counties across the nation, PETA advocates against trap-neuter programs. PETA claims that it's somehow more humane to kill cats immediately rather than to fix them and then release them. So basically, you get stray cats in any area. A lot of places, particularly in America, what they do is they trap the cats, they neuter them so they can't breed, and then they release them to live happy lives. And so what that does is that keeps the stray cat population down, and then it's not cruel to the cat. You're not killing the cats. What PETA thinks you should do is just capture the cats and kill them. So again, they're advocating for killing the cats instead of letting them live their lives. PETA is against all medical research that involves animals, so even ones that would help cure cancer, AIDS, anything like that. Other things like that. They have a 97.4% kill rate. That was their kill rate from 2006 to 2012. That is absolutely mental. So I'm telling people now, if there's anyone listening that supports or donates to PETA, please stop. Jennifer White, if you listen to this, I might even tag her on social media when this comes out. I would love for her to come on the podcast and debate us. Because
so she works for PETA, does she?
She works for PETA, particularly the UK. The thing is, a lot of the statistics I've got here is the US branch of PETA, and it's the US branch of PETA, I think, that have blocked me on Twitter. But I would be interested for her. She's welcome to bring her evidence on, bring her evidence from the UK branch of PETA.
See, this is why you're not opinionated, because you're willing to listen to the opposing side.
Yeah. I honestly, I think it would be a great episode if she came on.
Yeah.
I might even message her on TikTok. But we'll see. But that is the main message that I want to bring out today, particularly if you're a listener from the US. Do not support PETA in any way until these numbers fall, because that is a ridiculous amount of animals to be killing, and I'm not going to support.
The only way that you could support them is by adopting a dog, and then it won't die, I guess.
Yes, but you have to adopt quick enough
true.
so they don't kill it before you get there. I'm not supporting an organisation that would rather have Chewie dead than in our loving arms.
100%.
Because I'm not going to lie, since we've gotten Chewie, I love that little bloody dog more than life itself.
More than me.
No, I don't know about that.
It's very close, James.
It is. Oh, of course, it's extremely close. But there's literally, this is going to be very soppy, but there's literally times where I've been sat with him and I've teared up because I'm so happy that Chewie is here. And Chewie is with us. Oh my God,
he's the
I
best
love him
dog,
so
and
much.
I literally grew up with a little a big German Shepherd, shall I say now, in comparison, and I loved him so much.
Yeah.
But the love that you have for your own dog is just so different.
Yeah, I just love him to death. I do not want to think about anything bad ever happening to him. I just want him to live the best life that I can possibly give him.
He's so overprotective over him. It's unbelievable.
Well, me?
Yeah. Like me, we've had arguments over stuff because it's involved Chewie, and I've done something that Chewie hasn't liked out of pure just getting to know the dog, and James will get annoyed at me because he is so overprotective.
I just feel like he's an extension of myself at this point. I just want to take him everywhere. Whenever we go out with Billy and I just automatically bring Chewie with me, he's like, are they going to allow Chewie in the restaurant or whatever? I'll be like, we'll find out. If not, I'm not going in there.
Yeah, and if I take Chewie on a walk when James is working, it won't be hi T, how are you? It'll be like, Chewie's back, yay! I'll be like, right, okay, no one I'm wanted.
Yeah, exactly. So why would PETA want to deprive Chewie of that level of love?
Yeah, he's obsessed with us.
But we hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we hope you guys have come away with a new idea of, the world of wildlife. Go to work, tell people about the woolly mammoths coming back. Try and be as resilient in your life as those stray dogs in Chernobyl, and try and find an animal to give as much love as we give Chewie.
Yeah, I think that's a nice message that we're sending out today.
Yeah, I think that's really good. A really good verdict on these stories today. So we hope you guys enjoyed. Much love. We can't wait to see you guys again for the next episode, and follow us at Court Case Podcast on Instagram. Send us any stories you want us to talk about, and we will see you very, very soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.